Hello everyone, my name is Emilee. I'm a manifesting coach, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit scary. We're going to talk about politics and how that comes into play with manifesting and the law of assumption. And this is something that I just don't see a whole lot of people talking about it. Maybe it's just because of my algorithm, maybe it's just because of my own beliefs. Regardless, it is a very difficult and a very scary topic to bring up. But I feel like it needs to be said because if there are people out there who are like me, who have been political since before they even realized what the law of assumption even was, it is really hard to just let that side of yourself go. And so, of course, like, the best piece of advice that I can give you is that if you're really affected by it, if you can, to just ignore it, to just stop watching the news, stop reading about things, create a space that for you is full of peace and happiness and wonder, and don't let any of that other stuff in. But I know that that is easier said than done, because I've tried it, and it just doesn't work because there's always going to be a side of me that is curious about the bigger world. And I think when it comes to this community, when it comes to manifesting the law of assumption, I think that we are taught to kind of keep our world small, our 3D world small. And by that I mean like only to focus on things that you can actually see, that you are actually experiencing. And that's not bad advice at all, but there are only like certain types of people who I think can actually do that. Like for me, my world has always been pretty large since I became an adult. And whether it's large enough, like on a global scale, depends on a lot of things, but it has always been outside of like me and my relationships. It's always been about, how can we make the whole entire world a better place? And when you think about it, like in terms of how, you are the sole creator of this reality, it really becomes a really confusing and a really difficult topic to cover, because you automatically have to question, like, okay, why would I be manifesting this? If I'm a good person and I really believe in equality, why is this showing up in my reality? And the truth is that, beliefs are a lot more complicated, and manifesting is a little bit more complex than that, because you can believe that you're a good person, you can believe in equality, you can believe that everyone deserves a safe and happy life, but you can also believe that there are other people in your reality who don't believe that there are people in your reality who are constantly going against that. And that is where the problem lies. So you have to really focus on all of your beliefs. And like exactly for me, what I just said, even though I believe that everyone deserves this, that doesn't exactly mean that I believe that is what is going to be possible in this reality. And that's something that I have to work on. It might be different for you. And so I encourage you to examine your beliefs, examine how you believe the world works, and the people in power, how do you believe that they are going to treat others? What kind of policies do you believe are actually going to stick? And what do you believe is going to, be like tossed out or whatever? So again, this video is probably not going to be for the people who care, but then they're able to like shut it off and they focus on their world, their like smaller 3D world, I should specify. But if you're like me, this video is for you, for the people who just can't turn it off. And I don't know if it's some sort of like addiction to chaos. I don't know if it's some sort of like thing that I'm supposed to be going through on like a spiritual journey. I don't know, and I probably won't know for sure until I leave this world. But I really think that, as ironic as it might be for me to say, I really think that one of the ways that you can combat this, if you are being affected by these things, is to just like really focus on how it is really impacting you. And I'm not going to tell you to ignore it, because I know that's easier said than done. I'm not going to tell you to do all these things that don't sit right with you. But one thing that I think is important to just remind yourself every once in a while is to remind yourself of how this is actually really impacting you in your life, like right now. And just remind yourself that really your life is not that much different than it was 6 months ago. Maybe it is in other areas, but as far as like the political realm, the government or whatever, things haven't really clicked yet. They haven't like set in stone yet. So, you know, I can still afford my groceries. I can still afford my house. I can still do the things that I wanted to do 6 months ago. All of that has not changed yet, and it doesn't necessarily have to. Keep in mind that like you haven't really failed at your manifestation, because I know a lot of us were hoping for a different outcome. Because again, what you're seeing, how you're experiencing the world in the smaller part of your world, the things that you actually can feel, hear, taste, smell, and touch, that really has not changed. And so I want you to remember that. And if it has changed, I want you to remember that you can always go back. You can always revise it. You can always change whatever it is that has happened to you. And if something has changed, this is the time to persist. And I know that can be confusing sometimes when we're always saying this and nobody's like really explaining what it means. But if you really feel like your beliefs are good, like your beliefs are in line with what you actually want to happen, what you actually want to see in the 3D, if you believe that justice will prevail, if you believe that, you know, this country is going in the right direction, if you truly, fully, like deep down really believe that this is what is going to happen, then you just have to persist. And you just have to hold that knowing, and you just have to keep going every single day, and you don't let the 3D affect your beliefs. No matter what it is. And I don't care if we're talking about politics, or we're talking about your specific person, or we're talking about your career. No matter what the 3D is showing you, if your beliefs are solid and grounded in what you actually want, you cannot let the 3D affect that, because the 3D, again, is still irrelevant. Even when we're talking about like really big, scary things, the 3D is still irrelevant, and everyone is still you pushed out. So you do have control over this if you want it. If you want to take control over this, you definitely can. So again, just focus on your smaller world. That doesn't mean you have to ignore the news. That doesn't mean that you have to stop talking about politics. Definitely do that if it's like really affecting your mood and your mindset. Like, please at least like give yourself a day where you can just go and take a walk, or, you know, watch a good feel-good movie, or just, you know, hang out with friends or whatever, and just put it away for a moment. But I'm not saying that you have to put it away forever. But just give yourself time to really like stay grounded and really focus on, okay, what actually has changed in my life in your small world, the things that you can see, smell, taste, and touch, and what is the same, because a lot of things are still right now the same. And I know that these are scary times. I know that everybody's experiencing things differently. If you actually, side note, if you actually are on the fence about whether or not we're all living in different realities, just take a look at all the different beliefs people are holding about right here, right now, because it's kind of crazy. It just furthermore proves to me that even in my 3D, we are all just living in different worlds. But anyway, just stay focused on what it is that you actually want, and what it is that the beliefs that actually need to change for you. And then change those beliefs and persist in them. Don't let the 3D affect you so much so that you are starting to doubt the law, or you're starting to doubt that there are good people in this world, or starting to doubt that, you know, you'll be able to live in a safe, happy, fulfilling environment, because we all deserve to feel good and safe. And I believe that for every single person, whether you're a part of this community or not. But if you are a part of this community, then that means you are taking on the responsibility to create your entire world. Whether that is a small world or a global world or a universal world, I don't really know, and I don't really care. That's really up to you. Regardless, you're taking on that responsibility, and if it ever gets to be too much for you, you are allowed to scale back. You are allowed to give up your power in this instance, because I truly believe that you are totally allowed to believe in whatever you want to believe, and you're allowed to have control over whatever you feel comfortable having control over. I know I was just rambling on and on and on for this video, but it's already almost 11 minutes long. So I hope that was helpful. I have no idea how to talk about this stuff in a way that makes sense and in a way that doesn't offend people. So I just kind of felt like just turning on the camera and talking. So if anything doesn't make sense, if you're confused about anything, please let me know. I just want you to know that you're not alone in this, and you have the power to change things no matter what is going on. Just remember to stay grounded, stay focused, and persist in your beliefs. Please and thank you. And good luck, everyone. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.